today we're going to be talking about one of our favorite waterless wash products, and that is CarPro Ech2o. For those who haven't used it and aren't familiar with it, CarPro Ech2o does a number of things really well. Number one, it is a waterless wash. Number two, it is a great quick detailer that adds gloss and takes some fingerprints off the car really easy. And then number three, guys that like to use a rinseless wash, they love Ech2o as well. I'll go through just briefly how you do each of those things if you're not familiar, and then we'll get into a little bit more details of the product. So a quick detailer, probably everybody's familiar with. Basically, you spray it on a car that's mostly clean and you wipe it off. For that dilution, you can use anywhere from 1 to 20 to 1 to 30. It comes as a concentrate, it does not come as a ready-to-use product. And so you would pour about an ounce of that and mix it with the recommended amount of water in a separate bottle, a spray bottle, and that's how you'd apply it. So for a waterless wash, the dilution is anywhere from 1 to 15 to 1 to 20, and that would be 1 ounce of Ech2o to 15 to 20 ounces of water. For a quick detailer, that would be 1 to 25 or up to 1 to 30. And for that, obviously, that'd be, again, 1 ounce of Ech2o and 25 to 30 ounces of water. That's the ratio you use. For a rinseless wash, you don't use a spray bottle like this. You don't dilute it into a spray bottle. You actually dilute it into your bucket. And so for that, you'd put an ounce or two of Ech2o in the bucket and about 2 or 3 gallons of water. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Ech2o. One of the cool things, as we already discussed, is it's a concentrate, so you get a really good bang for your buck. You're going to get about 5 or 6 gallons of ready-to-use product out of this if you're using it as a quick detailer or a waterless wash, somewhere in that range. One of the best benefits of Ech2o is its cleaning abilities. So if you're not going to do if you don't have mud and baked on grime and really a car that hasn't been washed in a long time, if you don't have that kind of situation, you just have that you take good care of your car or it's garaged and well cared for, then you can really maintain it well with Ech2o. And this car I've been maintaining with waterless wash for going on 5 or 6 years now. I take really good care of it. I don't really drive it in the rain much if I can help it, and it's got probably a month's worth of dirt on it. I haven't washed it in a month, but again, it stays in the garage, so it looks pretty good for how it is. If you put it out in the sun, you'd see some dust, but I digress. We're going to do a little demonstration on how to use Ech2o. If you've used a waterless wash before, it's going to be similar to that, but there's some little idiosyncrasies that you might want to have some knowledge on. So Ech2o doesn't have really any dangerous chemicals or anything in it, but I always like to wear gloves whenever I'm using any kind of chemical, regardless of if it's for your house, for your car, whatever. Even waterless wash, if I can help it, then I just personally prefer that. So the towel I'm going to use is this car. I always use my Microfiber Madness Crazy Pile towels on. It's the only towel I use, unless I'm polishing, and then there's another towel that I'll use for the polish. But for generally caring for it, I always use the Crazy Pile. You can also use the CarPro two-phase towels. They come in like a 10-pack, an orange and blue bundle, and on my daily driver I'll use those a lot. It gets dirtier, and I like to care for these towels as much as I care for my car. So sometimes if it's a little cleaner, I might use this on that as well. So always shake the concentrate before you place any product into the empty bottle. So you shake the concentrate first. I just put about an ounce of it in there, a little less than an ounce. And it's not going to matter if you're off by a little bit, but about 30 to 50 milliliters of product in here, and then depending on how dirty the vehicle is, and then fill the rest with water. And so you shake the concentrate, you pour it, and then you shake the bottle when you're about to use it. So if it's been sitting for a couple hours or a week or a day or whatever it is, just give it a little shake. That's always smart to do with any detailing products you use. So shake it up, and what I do is I do a 2-part system. So there's a couple bugs on the front here, and that's the more important part. But even if there's a grain of sand or anything, since we haven't sprayed the car at all yet or cleaned it at all yet, the first thing that I'm concerned with is any grains of sand or anything that I don't see. Those are the most likely thing to scratch your clear coat. So I don't want to press down and try to rub a bug off right now or do anything like that. So my first pass, I'm going to do about half of the hood at a time. And my first pass, I'm just going to get some product on there. And I'm not worried about any kind of smears or anything like that. I'm not trying to get smears out. I'm not trying to get it perfectly glossy. I am really just going as lightly as I can across the paint, really just using the weight of the towel. And as soon as that starts to collect any dirt, I'm going to flip it. I don't want to keep dragging that on the vehicle. So I'm going to flip that over and use another side and do that again across the rest of the way. And depending on how dirty that was, if you're in California or you're somewhere where you have to use waterless wash even on daily drivers, then you might be flipping that towel even more often because it'll be getting dirtier faster. And so usually I'd take this whole bumper on at one time, but just for this demo, I'm just going to go ahead and finish just over this area right here. And you can see that bug there. I'm not going to keep trying to get that off while I have dirt on here. I'm going to come back and get him on the next stage. So now I've got both sides dirty. It's a 16 by 16 towel. You fold that, keep the dirt off the car. Now I could go ahead and give this another wipe, but I'm just going to add a little bit more. This time, the second pass, I use a little less product. And this time I'm going to actually use the weight of my hand. What I'll do, so that this doesn't bunch up and put undue pressure in certain areas, is I'll just grab one corner and flip it like that so that I can control that and keep it flat. You want to keep the weight of your hand distributed across the entire towel. If you put all of the weight in one spot, then you're going to be putting how many more pounds per inch into one area and you're more likely to scratch the paint. Luckily I'm using probably the safest possible towel I can, and I've already gotten the grains of anything that was more abrasive off of the surface. So now I'm going to use just a couple pounds of weight, and you can use your finger when you get into areas like this. You want to use your finger to get down in there and get into any little grates and crevasses. So finally, that's step 2, and then step 3, we were always paying attention of what side we've used and what side is dirty. So this side is still my clean side. Now, there's going to be some smudges and stuff. The final step, and generally what I would do is do this whole hood before in between each one of these steps. But for this demonstration purposes, we're just going to step right to the next step. So for this one, now I'm not really feeling nervous about scratching the paint. I'm going to use, I don't know, I can't judge it exactly, but I'd say probably 4 or 5 pounds of pressure or something, maybe. But just whatever is comfortable to get off any streaks that are left over from the accumulated product that's on the paint. We'll come back and touch up anything we missed. We know we've gotten everything that we could off with those steps. And then finally, I'll actually come back and just focus. And if it's been baked on for a long time, we wouldn't keep using this product on a bug that's been baked on forever. In that case, we'd use the CarPro bug out. We'll get into that in a different video, but for this, I'll just go ahead and test it first and see if I can get it off lightly. If I have to rub hard, then I'm using the wrong product. So that grit right there, a lot of bugs have really hard shells. You don't want to rub that into the paint. I'm going to spray a little more on a separate area. And again, I'm not pressing hard on this one area because that's not going to work out good for me, but I'll come back and just gently go over that area where those bugs have been sitting for maybe a few days or a week or something in this case. This car is protected, so those come off pretty easy. That one, I'll come back. I might try it again on a clean side of the towel, or I might just use some bug out. But if your car is not protected well, then those bugs will be a little more difficult to get off, and you'd be much better off using the CarPro bug out. One other great thing you can do with Ech2o is clean the glass with it. It works fine on glass as well, on rubber, on trim, on plastic. It's not going to stain any of those surfaces, so you can use it to clean pretty much the entire exterior of the car. All those details are going to be in the product description, and you can find all the products that we've used here below. And one more tip for you. If I have a preferred towel that I've been using on the paint, when I go to clean the rubber gaskets, I mean, most of our customers are pretty OCD as well, but for me, I don't like to use that on the dirtiest areas. I'll go and use a towel that's already dirty so I can keep getting the, some more life out of my clean towel. And so I'll just spray a little on there and do the rubber with that, and then switch back to this if I'm working on the next paint panel. I hope all that's been helpful for you guys, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.